mentality, heart, emotion, right? A big
they're
duo.
optimists.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
also optimists. And hey, yo, I respect that optimism. And they're running with a dual sniper. This is definitely an optimistic comp. Means you're not going to have a lot of bodies to contest the actual objective, but you are going to be able to set up a nasty crossfire. Maybe even a three-way shooting fest between Kenzie's Ashe, and Unfixed Hanzo. We used to see dual sniper with Widow Hanzo quite often these days, but these days it's a little bit more, you know, kind of working around it. Side effects, they're going to try and close the distance with their Genji Spoxes, and Frost going to be maintaining that backline damage with the Widowmaker.
You know, Control has always lended it, not Control, Assault has always lended itself to a variety of different compositions. You know, we saw Moira Goats a lot on Hanamura back in the day, and so now we're seeing a comeback of double sniper on the side of CIS Hope. And so we've got that Ashe, we've got that Hanzo, and there's no longer Zenyatta for them. And so both sides losing a healer, so Side Effects needs to decide, is this 5v5 worth taking? It's going to be a bit for CIS Hope. It's going to have full members of 6. Side Effects will have that Lucio pretty much right now if they want to try to engage upon the objectives, but Boger is getting taken very low. Spoxes is low already, so they have waffled that advantage that they had.
I would say so. Somebody's definitely cooking some breakfast foods, I'm guessing. And Unfix got jumped on by Boger, who got immediately anti-nated and then just died. Very bizarre. You saw Spoxes from the Genji POV in that mega room, throwing, you know, some shurikens, trying to get up to a Dragon Blade, but not a whole ton of coordination to speak of there. It didn't seem like Side Effects knew exactly where they were trying to engage, and Boger going down again spells doom for every single one of these pushes.
We do have a Dragon Strike going to be picking off Sam, who's going to die with a little bit of juice in that back pocket. Loving that free sun. CIS Hope still rocking 6 members on this defense, so Side Effects being very conservative as I think they should be right now. I do not think they could win a 6v6 right now.
They need some kind of big opener. Spox's Genji Blade is going to provide that and more, but he needs to get up to that ultimate. 20% away now. Side Effects going to try and find an opening.
And the self-destruct will be finding that opening. That is going to be 3 kills for Matei, who has been so quiet so far for Side Effects. Hey, you said it yourself. They need to find the opening. That was like Moses splitting the Red Sea, right? That was as big of an opening as you could ask for.
Oh, certainly. Kill feed full of red. And I'm actually going to give credit to Boger's Primal Rage right there. He actually, with one fell swoop, batted all of CIS Hope down onto the low ground where they were gobbled up by that exploding mech. What a team play. They definitely are listening in on this stream, I'm just going to say, when we were just talking about the lack of coordination from this team. And now they're going to be rolling into point B with plenty of tools, with the perfect combo. You nano that Genji, sound barrier him in to keep him healthy throughout the duration of his blade. Could be a one fight. However, Main, though, he has something to say about it. Got Trance online. Kenzie ready with the bomb as well. Force all Side Effects off.
Oh, nice observing there, by the way. Really good at nano into that blade. That reminds me, give me some Apex vibes there. That guy gets some props. He's gonna get 2 kills on that Dragon Blade. CIS Hope looking to keep defending on at this point B right now. They're missing those members. CIS Hope, do get the D-Mech though, so they're going to come right back, get that D-Mech, and so they're going to be missing that meat. Side Effects going to have to try one more time.
Not a terrible push right there. You can see, again, the forethought, the planning. We do go in with that Nano Blade. Beautiful transition, certainly. Sound barrier comes through, and CIOs Hope get no value from their bomb. But this is Assault. You can't scrap it out like you can on Control. You need a clean team wipe. Simply trading is not enough for the attacking side. So now we're going full goats with Side Effects. Boxes swapping onto the Brigitte, but no ultimates really online here. Mete actually just now getting back in mech. So this is probably going to be an economy push just for Side Effects to build up a little bit more ult charge.
Unless Side Effects comes up with something crazy and does get a pick. Sob's going to be the one that does get it. It's the only ultimate that is available on both sides is going to be launched. The shield is there, so no kills there. Sherrick was stunned, and so he's going to go down. So Side Effects do have an opening on this fight. Their ultimates are going to be coming online here very soon. The Graviton Surge is going to be one of those. Sound barrier for CIS Hope has been used. Self-destruct now for Side Effects, not going to find any value as well, as the Transcendence is there. Frost at 100 energy, needs to chew through CIS Hope, particularly Sherrick and his shield when he does come back. close to that, not close to that gravitas, or what I was meaning to say. Kenzie is going to be the one that is very close. The Earthshatter is going to be knocking out onto the ground. Now Boger's going to be laying down as well. Oh, great particle barrier coming from Frost to keep him alive. So Side Effects are going to have the bodies they need to get that second tick, but will they finish it off? Yes, they do. They do capture both points on Volskaya. And something that I do want to bring up is even the way that we're even sounding on this. It's almost like it's a surprise, right? So it's like they did it. Good for them. Now they have to do it and on defense.
There is always the flip side of that coin,
like,
right?
We're so happy for you, but there's still so much more to do.
Just saying, can't help being an optimist.
Yeah. I like this theme. I like this.
Putting it out there, certainly Side Effects look great on their attack. Same thing with Hybrid on King's Row. They were killing it when they were on the pushing side. It's on defense when the team starts to struggle a little bit. You start seeing like maybe the indecision, the hesitation crop up a little bit more. And when you're on defense, and like I said earlier, and you don't really have a lot of space to give, and with that space, time to be like, okay, what is actually the plan? What are we going to be doing first? We have 5 ultimates. What are we going to use first? And that's where they do seem to struggle a bit. But here on Volskaya Point A, of all the full holds on Assault, Volskaya Point is one of the maps that we see them happen the most often. So with this dual sniper comp, you know, as long as Side Effects are rotating well, making sure that they're peeling for that backline, they have a chance to, you know, hold really well here. CIS Hope, with a very similar comp, did the same thing to them.
Well, Side Effects that's a blast from the past. Looking at that team comp right there, that Hanzo at Widow that crossfire setting up onto point A. We have seen very good teams get stopped because of a good crossfire, but it puts the onus on those snipers. If those snipers aren't getting those hits in, they're going to lose that point very, very quickly.
It is a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Spoxes and Frost. Hopefully, they've been, you know, lifting some weights, working up those trapezoid muscles. But Boger down! Oh my goodness, what a pick!
Does get the res off, so that's going to be very lucky for them, as Cave's going to get hacked right after using Guardian Angel. So that is going to be beautiful work from Side Effects. That is just the brink of destruction with save because of that res right there. So we're seeing a full reset because main has been taken down.
Yep, big anti-net as well. Gonna force CIS Hope out, but not before Kenzie gives a parting wave with his sniper rifle. Again, though, Cave is on line for Side Effects, so a resurrection is always possible, especially with Spox's headshot onto Kenzie. That is going to be a full reset for CIS
apologies
Hope.
for your headphone users, by the way. Cam's not the only one that makes noises during these games. And so Side Effects, you know, they did get more value out of that, you know, out of those kills. And look at their ultimate charges. Even though Frost is below Kenzie, overall, they're doing quite well.
Doing really well, and it's not just about ultimate charge when you're running dual sniper. It's just about pure, concentrated damage. Kenzie gonna pop the wall hacks to help his team try and find a little bit more of this damage, because right now Side Effects playing intelligently, split up. You see how nobody's all grouped up?
Sherrick barely gets away with his life. He's going to have to get Nano to make sure that he does get healed, and then was in the way of those dragons. But those dragons is just going to be a nice little design that Side Effects puts on the stage, because CIS Hope handles Side Effects team with no problem. The Dragon Strike needed to find a little bit of value. They're actually going to try to find some value out of this Valkyrie, even though they're already down numbers on this fight, and Cave does go down.
You could see the swap coming through. Spox is already back on the Brigida. Cave just gonna give a parting shot. I could have used Valkyrie, just wanted to let you know. But Side Effects, you could see again that what they were going for, playing pretty split up. You had Hanzo on the high ground, you know, Mercy kind of tooting around. You had a Widowmaker on the high ground as well, trying to avoid unfixed EMP, but CIS Hope actually didn't even need to drop that ultimate in order to take Side Effects down. So it was a little bit for naught, but it does bode well that they are trying to, you know, think a couple of steps ahead in this ultimate chess game.
Yeah, tons of switches coming from Side Effects. 3 of those members resetting that charge. Frost on the Tracer, which is going to be fun to see. But, you know, that's not that big of a deal because they know they're coming up against the EMP. You're going to take away those cooldowns anyway. So why not farm up to it? You get the EMP used against you, maybe, and come back for another fight, as Frost is going to get hacked, and that means he's going to be very vulnerable. Unfixed knows exactly how to use that Sombra in that situation, as you're going to be walking into point D with 5 ultimates. No grab, but I don't think they necessarily need it. They do have this EMP, which will be coming out, and 4 people people do get hacked. Number one is not going to be the Zenyatta. So Zenyatta does save himself from the hack, but doesn't save himself from the Winston. Ain't going to use that sound barrier to try to escort the rest of CIS Hope on to this point. And they do have about 5 minutes left on the clock. They're looking good so far. Sherrick investing that Primal Rage as well. Xiao getting a ton of kills and eating a Pulse Bomb as well. So Xiao finding that value. People say the Defense Matrix is not that good anymore, but hey, when you're eating those ultimates, you're gonna enjoy. You're gonna leave a tip at that restaurant, right? So the Transcendence is going to come out from the Zenyatta. So I'm trying to bring this back, and it looks like they do. CIS Hope having a hard time finding that cleanup right there. Need to call it a little bit of a cleaning service.
Whip out your mops. Just make sure everything's spick and span. They did find, though, 2 ticks in 2 pushes, so that's not bad at all. Third one, you know, wrap up that 3rd tick. But it is really good stuff from Xiao. You see that Defense Matrix utility. And Side Effects, they tried their best right there to avoid the EMP from Unfixed, but that just left their backline more vulnerable to the dive from Sherrick. But CIS Hope themselves swapping things up. Gonna go for that Reinhardt Zarya Goats push, going for that bigger bang combination, which has worked so well for them in the past.
Some people were taken low on Side Effects side. Everyone is back up to help. As CIS Hope walking very slowly onto the objective. Side Effects letting them take a little bit of space and making sure they have a better defensive position. The self-destruct not going to find anybody, but Boger going down is going to be huge for CIS Hope. So Side Effects does not have that big shield. Fox is going to be able to use that rally to try to make sure that they can hold on to this defense. So Boger can come back with that Reinhardt, and the Gravitative Surge is going to get into the back line. Only one is going to be taken down. This is going to be Matei. The Side Effects, you know, maintaining their presence. They're not getting spiked, so they're giving themselves a chance to try to maintain presence on at this point. We don't see that as enough kills do come through from CIS Hope. Round 2 complete. They do finish with more in the time bank.
Yeah, that's really going to help them in our next round of 8 CP, but it is a testament to these teams that they're keeping it close. Once again, 10 seconds, right? Separate these 2 sides. Kenzie, once again, really good graph placement. It's a baby diva, right? It's a baby diva, but how many times have we seen teams in these really, you know, brawly fights on point B, let the diva get back into a mech, and it's a whole nother process to demech her. Now the Lucio stayed alive long enough. He's got sound barrier,
it's like
drops
where
that
the miracle
one too.
stall begins, right?
Exactly.
Letting the diva back.
CIS Hope right now, it seems like, you know, they're like, hey, it's not going to be something that maybe hits the front page of Reddit, but we need a kill right now, and we got to grab. We're going to find that kill, right? And so they were actually functioning without a Brigitte that entire fight. Unfixed was the first one that went down, melted actually by Saab. As Panda pointed out, both of the Zenyatas have been working really well. So CIS Hope is just a testament to how well they were staying grouped, playing together, swapping barriers, rotating shields, that they were staying alive in a 5v6 situation. And now they're going to be looking for a little bit more of that magic here, defending first once again with that Ashe Hanzo.
What Side Effects is running is something that's gotten very, very popular recently, which is Sombra with Ana. It's a really good way to get that Reinhardt shield down if you're going against Goats.
Get a fatty anti-nade.
Yeah, exactly. With those anti-nades, you can pick people off. Ana's notoriously very good on first points as well, being able to open things up, get that 5v6, and own the point, but that's not what we're seeing right now. Even though, actually, that is what we're seeing, as Kenzie is going to be the first to fall thanks to Frost headshot. Sherrick is hacked, and he's going to come back with that bubble. Is it going to be worth it there? These hacks are going to put that Sombra in positions that she could possibly get picked out.
And Xiao hacked now too. That's going to force the diva out of the fight, not able to mitigate any damage. And in the meantime, Own goes down.
Oh, you know, these hacks getting to the head of CIS Hope, I think. They don't know where to find boxes, so they're looking everywhere. And that's causing, you know, they just don't know what to do. I was looking for a multi-syllabic word, and it just didn't come. Just like, you know, the defense there for CIS Hope.
It's like a throwback to TF2. Spa sapping my tanks right now, right? And it's boxes taking CIS Hope's tanks out of the game, right? And even though you're not going to be able to one-clip a diva as a Sombra, it means that she's not going to be able to boost, peel, get damage matrix onto that backline. And you saw exactly what Boger did with that opening. Landed right there, took out 2, 1 with the Tesla cannon, 1 just with his bare fist. And now Side Effects feeling happy. They got the
The hack only does get 2 people. That's not going to be what they wanted, and no one's going to go die on the side of CIS Hope because of that EMP. There's a lot more that they can be invested in. So the Primal Rage together with the Nano is going to cause them to do a lot of damage, to make them very, very, very tanky, but I don't think you get a lot of value out of that Nano. It's much value during the Primal Rage. The self-destruct is going to come out now from Matei. Not going to be that triple kill like we saw earlier today, and now the sound barrier from a Cave. There's not a Sombra on the other side, so nothing to worry about there. The self-destruct not going to have anything either. So now we're going through the ults, no kills. We're just on that rally. Sherrick is a hack, but somehow is still alive. And look at this 6-man EMP coming from side effects, but still no kills, Ham.
Oh my goodness, the lights are turned off, but CIS Hope have night vision goggles and a grab to boot.
Oh, they should have found some value out of that 6-man EMP. The gravity surge is coming from both sides, but hey, they needed just one more ult. They're going to get it from Cross Grab. He will be going down, but not before side effects take some people down with them. CIS Hope, though, on the defense in a better position right now than at side effects because of those spots.
Yeah, right now, Boger just trying his darndest. The power of electricity guiding him forward. Mete gets that melee kill onto main, which is actually huge. He was so close to Coalescence. That could have provided CIS Hope with that crucial power spike late in this game, but as it is, another EMP out. Oh,
and the EMP is going to help the self-destruct combat through. The fact that Matei and Spoxes have gotten 2 of their ults in this long fight proves that they're doing the work. They're taking another kill, opening this up for side effects right now, but the Primal Raging Winston on a Sherrick is hacked, so he's not going to be able to jump away. He's already below half health. Will they be able to confirm the kill? Both teams have had a hard time cleaning up these points so far. CIS Hope still on this, though.
Yeah, and Rally now coming out from Unfixed main, ready with that Coalescence for Frost, looking to shut it down with the Pulse Bomb. Yes, he finds the Brigida.
Oh, the Pulse Bomb finds the Brigida, but will they be able to find the point? They still haven't gotten that third tick. Side effects is going to get another EMP, this time getting to 4 people so far. This is the first one that does result in a kill, and they do have a chance here. 1 second left on the clock. We are in overtime spots. Anyone that dies from CIS Hope will have 3 extra seconds on their spot. But Cage is going to make sure that they do experience that. Unfixed does have a Bionade on them. The sound barrier onto side effects, keeping them on the objective, and they do pull it out after one of the longest fights I've seen in a very, very long time.
I think we've all just gotten at least 20 more gray hairs, Poop, after watching that fight. What a battle. What a battle. And side effects didn't give it up at all. They were fighting tooth and nail. Sob nanoing Lucio. It was a purposeful boostio. You know why? He was so close to sound barrier. Just give him that little extra bit of a push. Granny juice coming in, give you a little sugar rush, right? And side effects were able to hold. Cave also, credit goes to him for booping Sherrick off of the point, that crucial millisecond, nudging that Winston off of the point for that full cap.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I was just like, you know, after you talk for a really long time, you get into the this weird headspace. You're like, right? It's just like recover. We're there. We're recovered, friends. Side effects and CIS Hope had an amazing last fight there. And it's so funny to see these fights sometimes because they start so good, right? They start with strategy, and then all of a sudden,
and then by the end, the comms are simply
yeah. It's just right, and somehow they're able to still filter out all that correct information. I'm not gonna lie, was a little sloppy there. It wasn't the most clean.
Sure, but they got the job done, man. I am an eternal optimist,
sure.
And I am also going to give side effects credit for being experienced players, right? It is when you're in the middle of that chaos, still able to keep your wits about you, find those crucial
kills. That's where the ladder
kills.
play really comes to play too.
But CIS Hope, it's not over for them just yet. Far from it. They have 3 minutes to try and finish out that map as well. And Unfixed already on that Sombra. Can he find as much value as Spoxes did? Because, that guy was generating EMP on cooldown.
Oh, hello. Kenzie getting that headshot kill on the 2 Spoxes, evening this thing up. Talking about those EMPs, we got 6-man EMPs a couple of times. And did I hear Rez get canceled there? Is that what happened?
I think Cave just noped out of it and was like, you know what, this is not the hill I'm gonna die on.
That's why he's better than me. I'm like, Rez is happening, regardless of if I die or not. I'm gonna find value out of that cooldown. Side effects, though, they're gonna have their members come back eventually. And the interesting thing, especially about Assault, are these spawns where the offense has a huge advantage on the first point.
But the engagement can be super tricky. Frost has found so much value. As I say it, though, Kenzie finds Foxes, but this time the res comes through from Cave. But that does mean side effects have no longer that ultimate, or excuse me, that ability on cooldown.
That's funny. That's some social commentary.
Anyway,
and so now we're going to see Kenzie pop off right now. Click some heads, 4 heads. That's all you got to do as a Widowmaker, and that's exactly what Kenzie is doing. And now he's looking like Cam right now, using that left click on that Widow's Kiss. But it looks like CIS Hope are going to be taking this point with a bunch of ultimates for the next one, too.
Sometimes all you need is, that opening where your Widowmaker headshots, 2 players, right? Just sometimes that's all you need. That's what I keep telling my teams in ranked, and somehow it just never quite happens for me. But CIS Hope absolutely forcing, a Primal Rage out of Boger, the heads up follow through from main to anti that monkey. So it really put the nail in the coffin for Side Effects point A defense. And now, again, mad swaps coming through. Saab is the only one with an ultimate, and it's a nano. Oh no, Spoxes!
Spoxes is a down. CIS Hope have an opening to try to get to their 4th point. Side Effects out and attack, and with these kills, I'm assuming that that's exactly what we're going to see. The nano has run out on Boger, who's been very quiet so far. After that first attack from Side Effects, CIS Hope get that first tick. Will Side Effects be able to come back?
Probably one toe will be touching this point. That's the over-under bet for me. And there we have it. Lucio and a Desperation Tracer from Frost. Actually, no, I take that back. He had already swapped onto this after they lost point A. Goes down.
Frost getting close to that pulse bomb. Spots is getting taken down. The Side Effects, I do think, have found the value that they need. They just needed a couple picks. They have that defensive spawn advantage, and they were lucky that 4 people got to come to the point at once, especially that Tracer. Frost already at that pulse bomb. They're actually giving themselves a chance to win this round.
Yeah, originally I was questioning the swap onto Tracer by Frost, as you saw how easily CIS Hope snowballed that. They have 2 ticks once again, but for Side Effects, they got to play against the clock, that invisible 7th man working against them, and Frost will have a pulse bomb. That is always better than having nothing online, and as I say it, the debate is real. Let's keep a tracker, friends. I'm up to 18 times, but he is now onto the Zarya, even though he's going to be very far behind. The projected barrier onto your ally is so valuable.
Well, and also, you could actually be doing more DPS on that Zarya with some good bubbles, with more consistency as well. That drag is a little easier to do as we're entering our last fight of this round. CIS Hope need to get this last tick if they want to get to a 5th round and get 1 minute to self-destruct onto Kenzie, though. Gonna be tough. That was because Sherrick was stunned. But look at this, 2 kills coming from CIS Hope to trade those out. The trades are better for the defensive side. Side Effects, mark my words, do have the advantage right now, especially now that Zhao is out of that mech. CIS Hope are now going to be suffering from overtime spawns, so anyone who dies is probably not going to be coming back for a little while longer. As the pile drive kill onto Unfixed, all but going to seal this thing up for Side Effects, who are looking like they're on the brink of taking a map off of CIS Hope. We do get the team-wide. Side Effects will be getting 1 point here, 2-1 winning Volskaya.
Woohoo! Side Effects! No longer the sidekick here. Some hero plays from their backline. Saab shut down the sound bearer from CIS Hope as that voice line was activated. Also, triple self-destructs help every once in a while here from Mete, who has been very hot and cold off and on.
Well, and the thing about Side Effects is they're almost the representation of, in Overwatch, you don't need to win all of the fights. You just need to win the right one. The one that you have the best win condition, right, Panda?
Yeah, you just always have to win the proper. It's those key victories that win you the maps too, and it's those key ultimates that give you the advantage in that fight. It's just like that Primal Rage into the self-destruct, just where you think it's not exactly the biggest combination of ultimates, where we're so used to seeing bigger bang combos, slam jam combos. We had dragons going through graviton surges at this point, but now you just have angry scientists' hands knocking people onto the point, and then a nuclear bomb. That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. It's not every day I get to see something like that. It's so pretty, but I think what's most important here is what we're realizing, kind of a shoe on the other foot here. We're realizing that Side Effects is still a very composed team, an adaptive team at that, and coming through on a multitude of rounds, switching up their compositions where CIS Hope didn't. CIS Hope on their defense, again, they roll out with the Ashe and the Hanzo 2 times over. And that allows Side Effects to actually roll back into their second attack with the Sombra instead to give more backline pressure for Boger's dive to come through. And you saw it right there. It was just such a quick team fight, decisively won on point A, and they were able to roll in. Then again, we got to see CIS Hope they had the hope jar pretty full there towards the end, but it just wasn't enough. It just wasn't. They didn't have enough resources. They weren't able to sustain in the mid fight, much like how you were saying, Boop. I did mark your words. Defenders will have that advantage. Always, they will, and they didn't adapt properly. Where on the other hand, for side effects, they are continuously being more proactive on this Assault map. That's what makes Assault one of the more spectator favorable maps, because we get to see how a team adapts underneath that pressure. As side effects coming out on top of that, continuously having resources to press forward into the advantage, starting with the man advantage.
All right, so Panda, I love you, man. You are a resident expert, but I'm going to challenge that just a little bit. So just with this question, what we saw side effects adjusting and doing better, or CIS having a lack of adjustment? Maybe because, from the beginning of this game so far, CIS has been in the driver's seat. No question about that. Just because someone loses a game doesn't mean the other team necessarily is getting better, right? What do you still stand by what you said, or tell me why I'm wrong?
I think this comes down to side effects showcasing why they are still top contenders in this team. I mean, these are still well-known names. I mean, specifically Frost, right? We saw Frost even on the lost fight 4.A as his team was going down, back-to-back headshots. I mean, you even popped out of your chair too to one of his headshots too. I mean, that's one of those things that you have to be keeping in mind, that this is a team of side effects that they have the mechanical skill to adapt on the fly against CIS Hope. CIS Hope, again, a very strong team to pull out these compositions and to push themselves into the next map and to keep themselves stagnant, or I guess having a plethora of ult charge throughout the entirety of the game. But I think this comes down to side effects more adapting more than CIS Hope just dropping the ball. CIS Hope, they were dropping more of the ball on King's Row, getting all those Graviton Surges eaten. They were playing very well. Side effects, on the other hand, they were taking positional advantage here, really utilizing the terrain on point B just to continuously take advantage of the fight.
So, thank you, Panda. But now we're going to go to Ham, and I'm going to give her a little game. She's going to have to describe both teams in 3 words and how they're currently playing, or maybe what they need to do. So let's start with CIS.
CIS Hope.
No explanations.
No explanations. Just 3 words. Do they have to be related?
No.
Okay, all right. We're going to say Bob, Monkey, Granny.
Okay. You guys
We're kind of going abstract.
Oh, no explanation. Right? No explanation. It's not part of the game. All right. What about side effects?
Press Q now.
Hey, there it is. And so while they digest our 3-word phrases and you guys figure out what that first one meant to Ham, we're going to throw it to a quick break. We'll be back soon. Hey, I hope you guys, got some rest in that, a little bit of that break.
Drinking liquids,
but we are back, my friends. We're gonna get in map about in a minute and a half, hopefully. But first, we gotta talk about something. We went back. We looked over some game tape, and we saw that someone had 5 EMPs. 5 EMPs in 2 minutes. Panda, tell us how exciting that is.
I don't know how exciting as much as terrifying as it is, to be completely honest, as your resident support man.
They're very interlinked,
Yeah. You know what? You're right. Excitement is kind of the same feeling within your stomach as being terrified. I know this firsthand for sure. Yeah, and as your resident support main, if I saw Spoxes continuously coming towards me and hacking me, even if I'm a diva player too, that's more farm than any Zarya I have seen in quite some time. That is very impressive Sombra work. He hacks, opening up, he dives, continuing to open up the front line for the rest of their team. I mean, that quite honestly, how side effects are looking so good right now, it's just off of Spoxes. I want to see more Sombra play coming out from this competitive player in particular, because it just seems to be the answer. I mean, when this happens, Frost then shines through on a Widowmaker or another DPS too. We got to see some Tracer coming out too. I mean, that's just exciting stuff, and that's just what Sombra brings to the table. We were conversing a little bit too. Sombra, Ana, that's a really good combination. You take down Defense Matrix, you take down a Bubble. Sleep can even act as a pseudo silence like you were talking about earlier, Boop. So I mean, if you take that angle, then I would be devastated to actually be a main tank in this current patch.
Yeah, there is possibility that, you sleep someone, they're out of that fight. You hack someone, they're out of that fight, or else aren't providing as much as they need in that fight. But, one thing we did see, though, is we could say, yeah, 5 in 2 minutes means that, very, very accurate in terms of getting those bullets in there. But honestly, the value out of those EMPs could have been better. So, Ham, how could that have gone? Because we did see a 6-man EMP with no kills. And we saw, I think, an EMP before that with no kills, right? Is it just communication with the team or just a lack of throughput damage focus?
It could be, well, we don't really know what side effects has been practicing so far because, of the recent patch that came through nerfing Brigitte, some of that armor. So teams are still trying to figure out, how best to play, non-GOATS compositions, which is, it's like, oh, hallelujah, right? But it is going to take a little bit of that adjustment times, and it could just be that side effects. Yeah, maybe it's like EMP comes through. Okay, who are we focusing? They all look so vulnerable. With none of their shields and none of their barriers. Who do we kill first, right? Option paralysis. But, Spoxes did keep side effects in the fight with those EMPs. It's something that you constantly have to be reacting to. Panda brought up a really good point. You talked about it too. It's like, if you hack a tank, you don't have to kill a tank in order to, make them useless, right? If you take away their utility, that's basically all tanks have, right? It's our positioning, the shielding, the matrix, whatever you provide there. But like the hack onto Xiao on round whatever of Volskaya, that was what opened up point A. You hack Xiao, that means Boger can go in, dive on the supports. There's not going to be any boosting, any matrixing to go and peel for them. And it works, right? Like EMP or a good hack is side effects way forward. It's obvious that a lot of times, their plan is just smash Q, right? But this could be a lot more of a pointed way for them to get in without expending tons of resources.
Yeah, so it's been a little bit, so let's talk about where we're at right now. Then we'll talk a little bit about how we got here. So CIS Hope is up 2-1 right now against Side Effects. CIS is the former Windstrike squad, who made quarterfinals in the playoffs, right? They made the playoffs. Now they're here trying to get back into Contenders. Side Effects is Bazooka Puppies. The general manager, I believe, is the same. I do think they retained a coach, a couple players.
Mete?
Yeah, they retained Mete. That's which is crazy to me. Even anyone staying on Bazooka Puppies. Anyway, but Side Effects is, also rocking a couple new players like Boger. And so before we say goodbye to Panda, quickly tell us how, you think he's been playing.
Boger himself has been a little bit silent. You guys were pointing it out on the cast too. Needs to take advantage of these dives. But the rest of the tanks and all of the members of Side Effects are creating so much space and openings for him to find these dives. But going into Junkertown here, probably going to see a little bit more Reinhardt. I want to see composed shield management from Boger going into this map.
All right, let's see if that's what we're going to see ourselves. Ham, what are you looking for?
Mouse 2 with all your strength, man. This is Junkertown, so we might actually not see Reinhardt's too often. It's the original stomping ground of Arisa's, which we see 2 of them right now, one on either side. So I would say super smart move. She has that same hefty shield, but you get a little bit of that long range, long distance damage too. You're not just the one standing there putting your body on line in order to shield your team, right? You can be moving around it. And also there's that added benefit of the big suck, that halt, right? And especially running a Hanzo, gonna work perfectly. You grab everybody, you suck them all together, and the Dragon Strike just plows through them a la London Spitfire all the way back in playoffs. So Side Effects have the chance to set the pace now. Everything is in their hands, and they seem to be doing best when they're on the attack. Woo. Just cast a Curse Sob super hard. Sorry about that, dude. But Side Effects, they're going to go with this Bastion Gambit. So it's all about getting him set up on that payload really early on. And they're having a huge, they're having a real tough time right now.
Well, I mean, obviously, since they aren't on the payload. Right? So when you get those picks, when you're unable to get anything going, all you're doing is feeding ultimates to the other side. Side Effects looking for an opening. I love, they're going with that Orisa, El Presidente back in the day. She's so good on these payload, and Halt can be very effective as well to get people out of position and get some displacement, especially if you're trying to set up a Diva Bomb or a Dragon Strike as well. We'll all remember Philly versus London Spitfire on Junkertown, the Halt that killed 3 of them in the stairs on point 3. But let's see if we're going to see that on point 3. We're still here on at point A as they finally do make it onto the payload. Look at Boger just absolutely melt away, Ham.
Oh, Unfixed has been really racking up kills. It shows he's going to have a Dragon for this next fight, and Side Effects can't afford to be losing too many more pushes here. Resurrection does come through. They got their full 6. They're going to try and push with this Valk.
And let's see if they're going to be able to do that. Spots is trying to rip through that Orisa. Mate going to get the final blow there, but that was more on Spots in that Stormbow, and he's very close to that Dragon Strike. Sob popping off as well, getting those 2 kills. So this payload is going to continue moving. They do have to get Sherrick out off of the field, and they do.
Yeah, it was really that backline attack from Spoxes to take down Sherrick's Orisa that helped open things up for Side Effects. Smart move by Kov right there. Early Valkyrie speaks a lot to how well he's playing this Mercy, but a lot of times when you're running very similar compositions, all you need is that early ultimate advantage. Side Effects, they saw that window and they took it. Great decision making from a team who's been, struggling a little bit with that so far.
Yeah, it's like they've been warming up over the past 3 maps. They did win that last one, and they're looking to do the same here on Junkertown now that we've entered Streets Phase. Streets Phase is always interesting because you either get 1 fight or 2 depending on where the defense holds up and how badly the offense might get beaten. So Dragon Strike's going to be crossing streams right there. There's a movie that it's telling me that's a bad thing, but no kills on either side with the Dragon Strikes. They're going to be trading kills 2 on each side. The res, though, going to help Main come back up. Sob's going to use that Transcendence, and so is CIS Hope. So the support ultimates are not going to be there, and neither is the HP for Side Effects, Ham.
A really interesting investment of the trance from Sob. Even though Side Effects were down, a bunch of members thought it might be covering for the res, but that was actually coming through from CIS Hope. So Side Effects, they've thrown almost everything that they have, including the kitchen sink, at CIS Hope, and they ended up, with just a couple of meters to their name, and now they're going to swap everything up for the cushion, the McCree, protect the cowboy type composition here with Boger back on the Winston.
Oh, not a lot of protecting happening as Unfixed going to throw another Dragon Strike, and the Dragon Strike hasn't even left the field already. 33% onto another one, does lose his life because of Boger on that Winston, who's finally showing up here. Side Effects do have the payload, though.
Boger's strongest look has been on the Winston so far, so this is a good pick from Side Effects. They just came off of a win of Full Sky after a really long siege battle. They want to try and maintain as much of this momentum as possible, and a smart move too from CIS Hope swapping onto the full goats. You don't want to be running a Tracer when there's a McCree prowling around with that flashbang, so that's going to be a pretty fast point B take for Side Effects. They're making really good time. 4 minutes 30 seconds left, and although they're not really going to have any ultimates to speak of, CIS Hope too have just reset all of their ultimate economy, so it's going to be a very even fight right here at the choke.
Well, so even that they're playing the same characters. This is one of the best things about GOATS is it's all about that play and how you play together. The better GOATS team is going to win. You're playing the same characters. Ultimates can be different, but how we get there also matters as well. So the Self-Destruct's going to start things off in this engagement and does find Frost. So Side Effect's going to be a 6v5. They're going to invest into the Transcendence, and so is CIS Hope. But CIS Hope going to be losing Shao, so no Diva for them. The Defense Matrix and that body not going to be there, but Sherrick going to get a little bit of revenge onto Spots as well as to Boger, getting a couple kills for CIS Hope, this is looking like a really good defense from them.
You can tell that these teams have become so familiar with these maps. What a perfect timed bomb from Xiao. MVP goes to the closing door that caught Frost as he was trying to back away from that self-destruct. So again, with just one ultimate, CIS Hope secure a great defensive hold, and this is exactly where you want to be pushed up. Side effects, they can't take a really good fight there. They're gonna have to take massive damage just to drop down onto the cart.
Well, is it going to be a gravity tragedy, or is it going to be a little bit better for them as they do drop down onto the payload and do take it? The Earthshatter is going to come down and do nothing. CIS Hope is going to use that Graviton Surge. Earthshatter going to be off to the side. Sop the only one on the ground, but he's also the only one not in that Graviton Surge. The sound barrier was enough to counter it. Side effects going to be coming up on their own Graviton Surge as well. And something about Sop's Transcendence, the Graviton Surge on the other side already was used, so you can use it a little bit more offensively there, making sure that Side Effects has the HP to win the fight just like they did.
It was a really good fight tempoing ultimate right there from Sob. He wasn't getting put under pressure personally. There wasn't really any need for Side Effects to pop it, except that they wanted to guarantee that fight. Give all of their tanks time to get these ultimates, and they have 4 online. It was well worth the investment. CIS Hope going to be banking all of their defense on this self-destruct from Xiao. He's gotten some great opening ones so far, but they have to contend with this grab. That's what's going to be a little bit more deadly.
Yeah, let's see these Reinhardt do that Reinhardt nading dance. Transcendence is going to make it a little bit easier for CIS Hope as the Rally and Transcendence are going to be layered on top of each other just to make sure, I guess, the armor stays there. Unfixed gets taken very low, might be the first casualty of this fight, and it will be because of that charge, but the self-destruct on the other side will be taking down Lucio. Side Effects do have a numbers advantage. They got 2 more on their side, and they're going to maintain presence on this payload. Their momentum continues.
Yeah, Boger finally able to connect on one of those shatters. CIS Hope has been so good between Sherrick's shield and Kenzie's ally bubbles with blocking that ultimate, but Boger's not going to be delayed any longer, and Side Effects barreling into point C. Sob so close to that Transcendence. He could be the linchpin when Kenzie drops his ult.
But it's the only pin that they have, so it has to have that much more effectiveness as the Transcendence is down from Sob to counter that Graviton Surge, but the sound barrier is going to come out from CIS Hope. This means they're going to be able to take a lot of land away from Side Effects. They're actually taking a couple members away as well as 2 go down. CIS Hope only invested 2 ultimates in that fight. Unfixed and Sherrick going to have theirs for the next one. On Side Effects side, they'll have 4.
Really love that charge kill from Sherrick. He's been shining in all aspects of Rhine play so far. We've seen how hard it is to play around those Rhine charges before. Mausasa from Samsung Morningstars won the Assembly Winterland basically off the back of some great charges, and Sherrick showing up huge for his team right now. If Side Effects are going to make the most of their 50 seconds, maybe pop that rally first, give them a little bit of that cushion as they actually try and get on top of the cart before Mete launches that self-destruct.
Yeah, Side Effects only has 40 seconds left on this attack. This is most likely going to be the last fight that we see. Side Effects has one chance to finish off a Junkertown. The Earthshatter is going to go down, taking advantage of the charging Brig. So using the shield dash means there's no shield available for them at that certain amount of time. So knock down the couple, Cher getting the kill there. CIS Hope going to be using another rally from Unfixed to keep themselves alive in this fight. Side Effects having a hard time maintaining any sort of presence on this attack.
Sob pops the trance, even though they're down there. Lucio, he has to Graviton Surge out as well. Bigger Bang coming up with Bupkis. It's Sherrick filling the kill feed right now as CIS Hope look to put a stop to the payload right before point C.
Will anybody touch? Yes, Cave on that Lucio will, but it's more about desperation at this point. That was never going to work for them as CIS Hope hold Side Effects from finishing Junkertown. So CIS Hope have a win condition going in on their attack. If they do finish off, they beat Side Effects in Junkertown and then win the set as a whole.
They're already up 2-1. So the golden box of victory going to be beckoning.
It's a much better summary than what I said. Yes.
Hardly, Boop. But I mean, CIS Hope for them, they see the finish line, and that kind of, positive mentality can't be understated, because if you know how far you have to go, it's that much easier to meter your ults, right? So hey, we can see the golden box of victory. We only need one more clean team fight. We're going to save everything we have for that final push. But Side Effects, they can never know which defense will be their last. So you're coming into every fight with more uncertainty. If we use all 3 ultimates here, are we going to have nothing for that next push? Are we going to be, forced back with, nothing but lint in our back pockets? And that's a very real difficulty for Side Effects. They've been suffering from it for, the entirety of this series. And CIS Hope, if they can make usage of those openings when you start to see, you know, maybe the hesitation, right? Am I just gonna self-bubble, or am I gonna just eat this self-destruct to my face, right? That's where they can really crack open this side effects team. So far, they've been playing pretty metered, I would say, right? That is a hallmark of this team. Veteran, they're calculated, they go for those combo kills. But right now, you know, hey, just press W, mouse one might find them, you know, a lot of room.
Yeah, so finding room can be very difficult in Overwatch. You know, usually we see Lucio's, you know, trying to take and give with that amp it up, but no Lucio's on the field at the current time. So how they utilize and take space is going to be very important. As we have a Bastion on the field, Kenzie is going to be the president. Well, we're in Europe, so it might be a prime minister as well. So
a premier?
Yeah, protect the premier right now on the field for CIS Hope. So Side Effects is going to have to figure out a way to dislodge this Bastion from the payload.
Oh man, you got double sniper here. You can set up a crossfire, but those rifles, more like, you know, spitballs at this point. Double shield for Kenzie. This is going to be so hard for Side Effects to get through. Even the Discord Orb not going to be doing much against this damage. Look at that. Oh, Orisa melting. But Aang goes down.
Ooh, Aang going down means that there's not going to be a res. If Kenzie does go down, the heals are there for himself. But if, you know, for some reason, Side Effects does take Kenzie down, it's going to be a little rough for them as the D-Neck has happened as well. And they've done exactly what they needed to do almost, as Kenzie did move around on that payload, thought about ceding that space, but decided that it was enough. Kenzie does go down in the end, so we can expect some Side Effect kills to follow, but no, Sherrick's going to get sobbed. It's going to be a little bit of a sob story for Side Effects instead. This Hope, though, you know, they might be coming back as, you know, Cade's going to get a res of their own. Side Effects, you know, we're looking at even numbers now.
Yeah, it looked all for naught right there for Side Effects, but with Spox's DPS here, as long as that Hanzo has a shield, Spox's will deliver, and CIS Hope actually, like you said, getting knocked off their pedestal, right? That's where Bastion wants to exist, just proudly sitting in turret mode. But CIS Hope, even with the Coalescence coming in, it wasn't quite enough to cut through Side Effects. And so, like, centimeters away from point A, CIS Hope got to change up everything.
Well, let's see if they're able to do anything with the lack of ultimates that they do have. Xiao going to be close to that self-destruct, but to try to make that happen with nothing else we've only seen from a few other players, the Dragon Strike going to be trying to cut through CIS Hope. Xiao panics there just for a second. You saw it in that mouse movement, but does get away, and is actually just going to feed that support a little bit more ult as Aang gets close to that Valkyrie. Made very far away from that Transcendence, however. Might want that as the self-destruct is going to come down from CIS Hope. Kenzie, though, going to get the kill. Actually, Side Effects going to be the one using that self-destruct. CIS Hope still getting to theirs.
Now Sherrick has the room to try and push forward there. Cave wasn't able to supply any support because he had to go and get that res on the Widowmaker. So again, even things, and oh, Frost able to answer back.
Yeah, Frost has been a little bit more consistent on that Widowmaker so far. Assad's going to use that Transcendence. Fox has already gone down, and Frost unable to get any of that healing. Is just going to get the Harmony Orb there as he's going to go down. CIS Hope now missing their Orisa too, so they're trying to maintain some sort of presence on the payload, but just now are able to break through.
I love this. Unfixed, he has his ult. There's like tons of tank bodies from CIS Hope on the cart, and like Frost and Kenzie are just locked in a duel of agents, right? Making eye contact with each other. You kill me, then I kill you. And they're certainly going to be hunting for each other's heads as we move into Streets phase here. As CIS Hope, it was looking a little bit iffy with the Bastion strat, but hey, it still got them tons of distance. The cart was already right there in front of the point. They just needed that little extra bit of push. Now, with the threat of the sniper is gone, CIS Hope going to swap back to that GOATS composition. Streets phase is very snowbally, so as long as you keep that momentum rolling, keep your Zarya high energy and start staggering some of those kills from Side Effects, you got a pretty good shot here, especially with Boger on the Winston. This means Sherrick probably going to have a free shatter most of the times.
Yeah, they let the payload move about halfway through Streets phase as well, so this might be the only time Side Effects gets a defense here on Streets phase. If they lose one fight, they're going to lose the point, and it looks like they're going to lose this fight as a sea of blue here on that kill feed and only investing the Transcendence to get there.
Side Effects might have just been resigning themselves to a lost fight. They really had no advantages in that matchup, and they're not going to have any more for some time to come. Boger's going to swap back onto the Reinhardt. Having that stable shield is just too valuable to give up, even with the diving potential from a Winston. But that does mean that they're, again, on the back foot, sitting back on their heels, trying to catch up with those ults.
And so they're going to enter the third point here with 3 minutes and 48 seconds left on the clock. Remember, Side Effects did not finish the map. There is a yellow box victory for CIS Hope to get the overall match win as well. Sherrick has the Earth Shatter, Shao has the self-destruct, and Saab is going to have to go back to spawn. CIS Hope has a 6v5 in the beginning portion here of point 3 of Junkertown. Some teams do get held up here, but that's not going to be CIS Hope this time.
Oh my god, talk about cleanup. Sherrick, he just ran in there swinging. What a filthy play. Side Effects had no barrier, no shielding, no space to give. Once again, they were caught between a Reinhardt and a hard place. That corner, man. And CIS Hope now, Kenzie's on the high ground, poised to drop that Graviton Surge wherever he wants. He's going to be able to see exactly where this D.Va is, try and avoid that Korean future vacuum. This is really looking quite difficult for Side Effects.
Yeah, Kenzie having high energy as well is super scary, as the ultimates are going to be coming out. The Graviton Surge is going to be layered with that Earth Shatter, so tons of Side Effect members going back to spawn because there are no shields when you're laying down.
Oh no, that is the holy trinity of tank ults right now. You pop, grab, shatter, and sound barrier. No hope at all, especially not for that single squishy frog cave. And that will be CIS Hope winning out Junkertown, taking the whole thing.
Yeah, seeing that Lucio sound barrier, you knew that marked the end of Side Effects play for this game so far, as CIS Hope will be taking the series 3-1. That one map did get away from them, and in trials with only 2 teams making it through to Contenders proper, those map wins are all so important. So it's not just winning the match, it's about what kind and how you win it.
You have to be extremely frugal with those map wins. There's not a lot of room to give here, especially with the competition being as stacked as it is, Panda.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to put on my sunglasses. There's a lot of particle effects there. I think that was actually crazy. I mean, it was so hard to see, but I mean, you guys called it out perfectly. I mean, once all of those ultimates came out, I mean, he kind of put the last nail in the coffin already. I mean, I got to give a heads up play to CIS Hope here. CIS Hope constantly giving up their ultimates to play the composition that matters the most, and this goes back to what I was talking about at the beginning of this game. This is the composed team that we want to see. This is why why they're poised more or less to do well throughout trials, because they have this backing, they have the understanding. It doesn't matter if you already have ults, tank configuration, supercharger, forget about it. Go Rhine Goats now for second, so that way when you go into third point and you already get through the ultimate warfare, you have a snowball potential, which you all just saw.
Yep.
Exactly. It's like value investing, right? When it comes to picking stocks, you buy in really early. The payoff later is going to be so much better. Yeah, it'll take a little pain here. You definitely want to blow some people up with, the Bastion. But it is about that better later fight, because can't win all fights, just the right fights.
Yeah, Goats is not necessarily one for those who like immediate gratification. That is for sure.
Gotta be playing the long game.
Yeah, you got to go in for the long haul, baby. You got to play out the long game.
Yeah, got to get past that Reinhardt shield, get those stuns, the hacks, the sleeps in. There's so much interplay with that comp, but we didn't just see Goats this time around. We saw Protect the President, we saw the pirate ship more accurately with the Bastion, and Kenzie did some work there. It could have gone a little bit worse for them. Somehow they were able to bring it back, but they got the payload all the way to the door.
Got all the way to the door, but it just wasn't enough. I mean, I can't say it enough how well Spox has actually played here today too. I mean, we can say, yeah, it was great positioning behind the shield. It was good management coming out from Boger there on the Orisa, just to really utilize that cooldown to full effect. But when you save the Storm Arrow for the shield break potential, and you pair that along with their Zenyatta too, I mean, like that within its own self is just going to be a broken shield constantly. And when you are facing against a prime minister composition, if you will, with the Bastion, that's pretty much what it mostly comes down to. You have to make them think about their positioning. You have to make the Reinhardt move off of the payload to try to claim space, because heck, you all have seen the animated short. You charge into an Orisa, ain't going nowhere.
It's a highlight intro as well. It's one of the better ones.
It was definitely a top 10 anime battle between these two teams. Like, we were talking about the Bastion from Side Effects. We saw the Bastion from CIS Hope too. Both of these teams operating, on the same level a lot of the time. But it is those small things. Saving the Storm Arrow, maybe not necessarily just, for whatever, but for that targeted shield break, right? It's when you start to get to these like high levels of European Overwatch, and it does come down to like those little bits of min-maxing, making the most of what you have, right?
Yeah, I see people respecting shields a little bit too much, right? It's like, put it up. Oh, I guess I can't shoot the guy. Just, you got to break through it, right?
You know what's nice about shooting at a shield too is with your crosshair already over the shield, you can just kind of like graze over top of the sprite past the shield, and once the shield breaks, I mean, that's an easy lined up shot. But going towards that mechanical conversation as well, when we saw CIS Hope mirror out for the double sniper, that's where the composition kind of takes a turn. We saw CIS Hope through Volskaya kind of start mirroring to that, kind of playing around with how they wanted to attack with their double sniper composition. And then I think something just snapped inside for both Kenzie and Unfixed, because I mean, we were seeing so many headshots. We were seeing so many just finalized eliminations off of the space that Sherrick and Xiao were creating for these double snipers, that by the time we got over to the Ryan Zen Goats composition, or even the Monkey Goats on the mirror for Streets, that it was all said and done. The double snipers have already basically done all the work to create so much space that by the time you try to take a compositional warfare, it's just not going to be enough. The mechanical skill will show through eventually.
Well, speaking of mechanical skills, something that we did see on this matchup that was super entertaining was Kenzie against Frost on the Widowmakers and those Zaryas.
That was fun.
Kenzie, I think, got the upper hand more consistently there, but on Volskaya, there's some good Widowmaker duels there.
Oh, it's a splash, regardless, right? You always feel immediately super good when you find that headshot, right? And like the two of them just locked in that embrace, like rotating around each other. I just like the fact that like Kenzie on attack would like grapple towards Frost, like, where do you think you're going, right? And we'll just say, making space, right? If nothing else, that's like more ground that your team is going to have if the enemy Widow isn't willing to take that duel.
Yep. Yeah. Well, there's something that I would like to take right now. It's a small little break. And the reasoning is because we've got 3 more games ahead. The next one, though, is going to be HSL. Hedan, the journeyman of Overwatch. I remember casting this guy back in Contenders Season 0, way back in the day.
You're old.
I know, right? And then Shoes Money Crew, who some people are saying they're poised to make it back in. They've got the experience this time around, but let's see who's going to take it in at the end. But for now, we're going to take a quick break. Remember, HSL versus Shoes Money Crew is coming up next.